everybody, it's Sandy Diana, and I am going to make a video for you today of me attempting to use my cap driver for my Avance 1501C 2020 machine. It's a 15 needle machine. I've had my machine now since 2020. That's when I bought it, and I've yet to take the plunge. So I have an order where somebody needs me to make a hat, and what I did was I went to, and I'm like, I don't really know how to use this cap driver. So I decided that I would buy a variety of hats. They sell them at the dollar store, and so I paid $1.25 because now it's not $1 anymore, it's $1.25. Anyway, I bought a bunch of them to practice with. So the biggest thing is that I really just was so unsure as to how it's set up. So I watched a bunch of videos yesterday from Cole Desi, and I think I might have it. I might have to stop in between and everything else and just rewatch the video just to check. So anyway, let me show you the parts that I have for my machine. I have, of course, this is the one that the cap came on, because when they send you the machine, they have the machine completely loaded, and this is what it's loaded with. It has no other frame on it. It has the cap driver loaded on it. So I remember what I did to take it off, and I'm sure I can remember how to put it back on, because it's fairly simple with changing out the frame and everything. But this is the cap driver, and this is the cap. I've learned that these are very important. These posts are very important for you to be able to situate it. So that's that part. Then I have this part. This is the part that actually attaches to the machine. And oh yeah, now I know where those screws go. Okay, so I've wondered where those extra slots were for. Now I know where those extra slots for. Anyway, this is how it works. This part of, it's like trying to hold an octopus. This part right here is what fastens to your actual machine, and then this kind of rolls across it. It's got like a guide wire that is attached to it to keep you, so that you can sew. And so this is the part that this part actually attaches to. So these two attach together. This is what you're going to put it on when you're ready to start stitching out. So the part I was confused about was everywhere I kept talking about, it was like, what do you do to mount all of this? And I've had this in this box. I just took the cellophane off of it. I have not taken it out of the box. I just took the cellophane off of it. And this is the part that I've been trying to figure out where it is. I thought it was an extra cap hoop, because all of the other frames came with doubles. So all of my green frames that came with my machine, I got them all in doubles. So I thought, all right, well, this must be the double of the cap. It is not. It is the attachment that you need to mount. Oh, and it has extra clips. It does have an extra hat driver on it. So it does have two. So I've got one in place on here. And then this part right here is supposed to attach to a tabletop surface to where you can mount it. Now, they suggested that you mount it at either a level where you can sit in a chair, or either you can stand up. And if you stand up, they recommend that it is at a height level to where you're not having to bend over, because if you get into making lots and lots of hats, then hooping and rehooping, it's a pain trying to bend over and stuff. So I have my hooping station over here. Whoops, my chair is going to be in the way of you being able to see. So here's my hooping station that I have, and I also have a Brother PE770 embroidery machine over here. So this is the area where I figured I would attach this gadget to, so that I would be able to have a place to situate it. Don't know if I'm gonna have to figure this out, because this part right here is double, because I have it sitting on a bookcase, and I don't know if that's a good place or not to put that hat driver. So I'm going to look around a little bit and then I'll come back. Okay, so I have this shelf right here, and that's probably the thinnest thing I'm going to be able to find it to sit on. So I'm just going to tighten it down. And you know, this is where my hoops are. Anyway, why isn't it? So since this is where my hoops are, I guess this is a logical place. All right, so that's where I'm going to keep that. I won't have to move it. It won't be in the way of anything anymore. So it is a little low, but it will work. So I guess I'm going to undo the clamp over here. Oops, that's not the one I wanted to do. All right, so I guess these clips, I don't really know. Is that the clamp? Or it's, I don't know. See, I don't even know how to get this off. They don't give you any directions. So I guess I will have to, it's clamped on there, that's for sure. So this is exactly the same kind of, sort of the clamp that is on the other. So I wonder. Oh, you know what? You just like pull those and then slides. There's that one. There we go. So once you get these all three, you have to be an octopus to hold them. That one will have to hold both hands, and then it slides off. There we go. Okay, so now I know what that's doing, and there's little notches that it has to hold into. So I'm going to actually put this one back on, and I'm just going to use this one as my example to be able to mount the hat. And I'll hoop it right from here. Okay. So that's on there. So I have a pre-cut sheet that's already at 12 inches. So I'm going to cut this. And I'm just going to use non-tearaway under the hat. So I'm assuming that this little flap right there is to keep your stabilizer in place while you're trying to hoop. I think it needs to be cut down just a little bit more. They said something about the rim of the hat. So we're just going to experiment. And then they're telling you to take the brim, or this little sweatband out, and move it out of the way. So if your thing is too loose, you can, or too tight, you can lift it up. So I'm going to lift it up. And I don't really know where it's supposed, okay, this is the groove that it is supposed to be in. Is that what it is? I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go watch the video again. So bear with me. This is supposed to be between this and this. And this is supposed to, the bill is supposed to go in this ridge. That's what I do remember seeing that. And trying to get this lined up right here is also supposed to happen. I'm actually just going to hook it and see what happens. can see why they tell you to make it at a certain height, because this is not good. Okay. All right, so that is not moving. That is not moving. That is for sure. I don't have it straight. I don't have it really good and straight, so I'm going to undo it, because they did say to turn it a little bit to the side, because when you do clamp it down, it shifts. All right, so that positioned it a little bit better. Now, these posts back here in these clips, they're there so that you can tighten it up and have a nice structure. So this is how this is supposed to go with these clips. And they said some people and there's some people reconnect their back. Sorry. All right, so there's one wrinkle right here I'm not really crazy about, but you know, the hat was already kind of wrinkled like that. But they said that also too, in your digitizing, you need to digitize it to where it stitches from the center out. So my digitizing has not been done from the center out. I'm going to turn these the other direction, because they said something about them not wanting it. So now it is kind of nice and tight, I suppose. And then you're going to take it off of here, and it's got to attach to the other. So I think I at least have successfully hooped it. Still feels kind of warbly, if that's a word. We'll see. Okay, I'll be back. All right, so I took it off, the cap hat, and there it is, ready to go on. And there's another brace. When I put it back on, it's going to have something that's going to go behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that these straps are fixed to where they're not back. But it does look like it's on correctly. It does. Looks like my stabilizer is in position correctly. It looks like it will stitch. So we're going to find out. All right, so I'm going to just set that right there while I get this other attached. So I have arms on my machine that have to go off of the machine before I can attach the cap hoop attachment. So I'm going to reposition you right up this way so you can see. Maybe that was too much. Okay, so I've got these arms right here. And you know, when you have the machine off, your carriage does move. All right, so I took that one arm off. Take the other arm off, and I'll show you how it moves. So it repositions. Once the machine is on, it does not reposition. But I have not turned it on just yet. All right, so that arm is off. So this right here, I think I need to sit you up on the table where you can see better. All right, so this right here, I'm going to undo these. Oh, I've got to have the screwdriver. I have to have the screwdriver, so hold on. All right, so these have screws that I have to loosen up and be ready to put in the slots, I think. So this has got to go on, I don't really know. I don't really know. Maybe this is, that's spun wrong. There you go. So this has to go to where that, this way, and then it's like this. Oh, I think there's a track for this to slide on too. Interesting. I've always kept that track covered because it would snag some of my material. So this has got to go on here. Okay, so this is not easy. This is probably why I've never tackled it before. All right, there's got to be a trick to this. I think I get it now. I did it, yay, okay. It is a little bit of a puzzle. And then you gotta position these to where all right, I think I'm gonna have to go really watch the video now. Okay, I figured it out. Attach this. I'll be right back. These screws have to be completely loosened in order for this to slide on. Got one on each side. What happens is this bar right here, slide back, still not loose enough. The screws are actually going to sit on top, just the screw. There we go, that's enough. I'll just get the other one. There we go, and it slides in place, and then you tighten it down. And voila, one cap driver is on the track. And yes, I did install it correctly. Was uncertain for a minute there, but I do have it in the right position. The plates are supposed to be up. And I'm gonna actually slide it out a little bit, just that's on there. All right, so I'm gonna slide it out just a little bit because now I want to put my cap on where I had already previously set up, and I do have it set up correctly. And this is what I'm uncertain of. I guess it goes like this because the bill is actually going to go behind. There we go. I'm going to get it lined up to where it should just clip. There we go. I heard that one clip. All right, that one clipped. And that one clipped. Okay. Okay, so now it is all clipped on. It looks very centered to me, and the machine isn't on. Like I said, I just didn't want to try to do it with the machine on. And the bill of the hat is behind this little guard right here, so it should work just fine. So now let's go over and let's do the digitizing. Okay, so I have decided that I'm just going to use a design I already have on the machine. Looks like it should work. I forgot it was curved. Let's just look at, I've got a monogram. Let's just do a monogram. That'll be the easiest. There's a 3-inch one. That's 3.5. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna choose, I have a 3.5 inch. I wanna try to set you up to where you can watch. Okay, so I've got a monogram already here and I've already selected it. And I'm gonna go to my next screen and I want it upside down, which it is already. This little P right there tells you the direction of what you're stitching out, and I do want it that direction. So the next thing I wanna do is to go over and select my thread. And to be honest with you, I think I want white on pink. I mean, I don't know if this will even, or actually I could do navy on pink, but I think I'm gonna do white. So I know my thread number is 14, so I'm gonna select 14. Then I'm gonna move to here. And this is where I'm all about the needles. The first thing you wanna do is to make sure your needle is on position number 1. So it's going to move to number 1. And I think I did pretty good. I'm right spot on the line. So I guess I hooped it really nice. So then I'm gonna go back to this screen, and I need to go to that screen right there because that's gonna tell me a little bit more. And I also need to switch this and put this on Cat Driver. So when I put that on Cat Driver, it knows the parameters as far as where it can stitch. And if you don't do that, you could probably have a problem. So it's telling me that the frame is gonna move. All right, so it looks like my design is out of the realm. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna select the other one where I told you that I had one in here that was 3 inches. So let me try the 3-inch one since that one is not going to work. So make sure it's still in the position where it's upside down. I'm gonna go back over here and I'm gonna go back over here. And it still looks like it's just a little bit off, or too much out of my stitching zone. So what I can do, it's not as far as the width is concerned, it is as far as the height is concerned. I don't know if you can see that. So what I can do is I'm gonna go back over here to this part right here, and I'm gonna tell my scale to go to, I'm not supposed to go below 80. So I'm gonna go 85. Whoops, that did not do that, 85. And then I'm gonna come back over here and I'm gonna check it. Whoops, that was the wrong direction. I think I like that though, smaller like that. So I'm gonna go back and let me go. So I need to go scale over here to that scale. I never know which one it is. And I do want it scaled to the right size. So I'm gonna do 85, 85. That way it's balanced. I'll go back over here and I'm gonna look. Okay, now it is within the parameter of what it can stitch out. So I'm going to make sure that I have it. Whoops, maybe I want it. Okay, so that's where I want it to stitch. It should stitch just fine. Let's see what happens. I don't really know because I haven't tried it. If I break a needle, I'll just be right here to stop it. So I'm going to go out of this window and I'm going to choose to confirm the embroidery. Before I do that though, I want to trace first, and that'll help me know whether or not it's really going to stitch within the area that I want it to be in. So I'm going to stitch first, and it's going to move along the frame. It actually looks like it's a little tight right there. So I'm going to loosen this up a little bit. Because it needs a little bit more movement. All right, let's test it again. You know, that is way better. It's not pulling on the top of that hat the way it was. It's still showing that it's out of the parameter a little bit. So I'm going to go back over here, and even though it's showing that it's okay, I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to go 80 right here. Like I said, 80 is the smallest that you're supposed to use. So let me do this again. All right, I'm going to push the button and we're going to see what happens. Guess what? I didn't change the color of the thread, so guess what color I have? I forgot I went to a different file, so I have navy blue on pink. It's gonna look good. But guess what? The beauty of it is stitching. So it's a good thing that I only paid $1.25 for this, because I'm realizing at this point in time, I should not have had my design flipped. It should have been in the right direction. So guess what? It is stitching it upside down, but it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to make sure I knew how to hoop it, stitch it. Too late now, but it is working correctly, which is what's important. So now I know, don't turn your design upside down for cat hat. Cat. How funny. I'm just sitting there thinking that the S is just beautiful. I also am learning I need to make sure that my, I shouldn't have cut off that extra little bit of my stabilizer, because I needed it right here, because there is no stabilizer right up underneath there. It's stitching okay, but I can tell the difference. That helped a lot, because that's specific for my machine. So if you have a different machine than I do, I highly recommend that you watch any training videos that your company that you purchased yours from would have available. I also know only use one clip on each side instead of two. That's a shame that that is upside down, because it is stinking cute. And I did center it very nicely. So I went ahead and redid it with it going the direction it's supposed to go. And that was a perfect size. 6 by 12 is a perfect size for your it all out of your way. I might wear this to go on my walk today. This is so cute. And I don't like hats, but it is cute. So what do you think? Put a comment in there if you like it.